Hi everyone. I am so happy to be back doing these videos. I took a few months off to regroup, to collect myself, and to think about what I really wanted to do with these videos moving from now forward. And besides that, with what's going on in the world right now, which is what I consider to be a worldwide spiritual ascension, I needed time to actually do my own work, to go within myself and to fix and clear out the things that I've been carrying. And so for each and every one of us, we're all going through this period of time in history, which is a spiritual ascension. And for those of you out there who don't know what ascension is, it's basically raising your energy, to heighten your vibration, to grab onto power, your own power, your self-power, to empower yourself. And that's what's going on. That's the purpose of what we've been going through for the last year and a half. This is a purposeful time for each and every one of us that was meant to give us the time to go deep within ourselves and to clear out the baggage, the insecurities, our fears, and to reemerge as a better version of ourselves. So I needed to do that. I needed to go within myself because as much as I teach, I'm a student as well. In fact, a lot of people that have come to me have asked me what makes a great teacher. And I always say, each and every time, I believe the greatest teacher is a person who has failed. Somebody who has had to go through the experiences in which they speak of. And I had to go over the times in which I failed. I had to go over the situations that caused me pain and anguish. Those times that I was shameful of or embarrassed about. Those insecurities that were bred from those experiences. I needed to clean that out. And each one of us has to do that every so often. And because the universal energy, the most people in the world were not doing that, we were forced to go through this transitional time, this ascension, to rise up. Now, the universe gave us this ability, this opportunity, but are we taking it? Are we actually really using this time wisely to go and take time? How many of us have never had time to sit down, to be able to take time to take a walk or to sit by a pond or a lake? To meditate, to listen to music quietly. In our daily routine prior to this experience, many of us were on that fast track. We were hamsters on a wheel. And so this time in our history, the world was placed on hold and given us the opportunity to stir up everything within ourselves, to be able to clean out the garbage, the heaviness, the weighted experiences that keep us down from our greatest potential. And this time around, many people are going through this ascension feeling better. Now, I believe there's not a person out there that's happy with the experience we're going through. But I can tell you many are inspired and encouraged, not knowing why even, that they feel something good is about to emerge. This was the ability that we had to change the world by first singly changing ourselves. And so if you're having time on your hands, think about what you're doing with that time. Are you using it wisely? Are you taking the moments to go within yourself and build yourself up? Are you using it purposefully? Or are you sitting around in worry? Are you procrastinating? Have you stayed home and kept yourself from the things that you know you need to do? This is your shot. And in meditation, not too far ago, I was told that somewhere around June 12th, the world will experience a lifting. And those people that have done the work during this time, through this strugglesome, this fearful, this confusing time that we've all been going through, those who have actually done the work, and what I mean by the work is identified their own personal issues. They've done work to release those issues, to forgive themselves, to really work hard to gain a better and higher consciousness level. Those people around June will feel a lifting. They will feel a lightheartedness to their life. And as that goes on progressively until November, where there should be even a better feeling of almost a graduation. It begins in the beginning of June and it somewhat graduates into November. Those people will experience this euphoric feeling of lifting, this peace that will be internal, that will mend conflict, that will give them a lighter experience in their forward existence. Those people who did not will have 2 to 10 more years of lessons. This is not a penance, it's what has to happen for those people who are not doing the spiritual ascension. Those that are fighting their spirit and staying in their ego. Those people will be having to go through the same heaviness for 2 to 10 more years. Now here's the unfortunate part. When we go through an ascension, and each soul goes through ascension once or twice a lifetime, that's it. It's our opportunity to raise up to the next level. And if we do the work, like I said, then we are free of that. But here's a couple of things that come along with ascension. Many of us will wake up between 3 and 5 in the morning because at that moment, those hours, our soul is most connected to our human self, and it's talking to us during those times. So a lot of the times when we have conflict in sleep, when our soul is telling us something that we're not ready for or we don't feel comfortable with, we will wake up and it'll just be a broken sleep. So if you're experiencing waking up at those hours, other than having to go to the bathroom, then you are going through ascension. That's a sign that you might be going through ascension. Also, we experience a lot of anxiety because in ascension, our soul basically is ruling the roost right now. It's taking control. So your soul is now making decisions to guide you in a better way, to change your perspective. So you, the human self that had control, no longer does. And whenever there's a conflict between these two parts of you, then we create anxiety because they meet in the middle. So if your human part is saying, wait, I want to make a left, and your spirit is saying, no, we need you to make a right, they're going to win, obviously, because they're the more powerful part of you, and you're going to have anxiety over making a right when you felt you should have made a left. So this is really important. And then also, you'll have a lot of thoughts in your head that will come up and you're not sure why you're having them. So something will pop into your head, maybe a different perspective that you've never looked at before. This is spirit giving you guidance. It's not meant to cause you confusion or to get you upset. It's basically them saying, here, look at this. So when you have a thought that doesn't make sense, something that you didn't feel like you've ever attached to before, take a moment and sit with it. Go into it a little bit. Breathe into it and see if maybe it doesn't unfold. It's meant to change your life. Also, another negative with ascension. So remember, ascension means rising up. It means like almost as if you are in an elevator floor going from one floor to another. And ascension is the process of going up. So in that, when you change floors, you leave behind. And so when we are all going through this ascension, we're meant to get rid of, unload, and to disconnect from that which did not serve our greatest and highest good. So we are also going through this emotional turmoil, and we're having to recognize those things that did not serve our good. So we have to get rid of those things. And some of us, we detach from family members. We detach from friends during going through ascension. These are the situations and lessons that we have to learn. And yet the human part carries guilt and pain. It doesn't want to let go because we're victims of habit, and it knows that that's how it survived for so long. But this ascension is a sacred experience that only happens to your soul once or twice a lifetime. So by moving forward does not mean that you're being disrespectful, that you're not going to be near these people ever again, but you're choosing to detach from the influence that they've had on you throughout your lifetime. Think about it. How many experiences have you had with people in your life or situations that didn't serve your good, but you kept bringing them forward and carrying them and doing it over and over again? Well, in Ascension, they're basically forcing you to detach from these situations. So when each one of us goes through this experience, we oftentimes come out of it feeling as though a lot of our scenarios have changed. The scenery has changed. And that is meant to bring us to a better place. So if you have recently had disagreements with people and you felt like you were detaching from them, or there was an argument or a disagreement and you're no longer friends, or your family members aren't talking to you, it's for your greatest and highest good. Now, of course, you don't want to leave on bad terms and you don't want to wish anyone bad. Anyone who is truly a good person and spiritually aware will never, in any situation, ever wish anyone bad. Remember that. Remember that. So if you're being angry at somebody and you're insulting them, or you're gossiping about them, or you're spreading rumors about them, you are not living in your spirit. You're in your ego claiming to be spiritual. And this is the time that most of us will get this lesson, and the majority of us will begin a new journey that will eventually change the world. So pay attention to your life. Pay attention to what's going on. And don't attach to the negative. Don't get overwhelmed with what you feel is wrong in your life. Look at it as an opportunity, grab onto it, and rise with this ascension. And as of June, you'll start to feel better. You'll start to feel ease. You'll sleep better. There'll be more peaceful thoughts. As of November, you will be in a different place. Your perspective will have changed, and you will look back on this time as the schooling or the tests and lessons that you had to go through to graduate. Here's another unfortunate. In Ascension, being that our soul is now taking over, it ruffles up a lot within us. It stirs up a lot of the stuff that we've kept down. And this is going on throughout the whole entire world. So in that, a lot of people are dealing with stuff, remembering things, events that happened, situations that they created, negatives that they've held on to. It's stirring up in a lot of people, and we have the time to sit with it. So in that moment, each one of us has had the opportunity to release it, to understand the purpose of it, to really recognize what it is for us and what we can do with it or what we shouldn't do with it, and let it go. But in doing that also, being that we're victims of habit, and it's easier in most cases to grab onto the negative, many people are grabbing hold of the negative, and they're holding it very tight. It's stirred up within them anger, fear, jealousy, blame. And you're seeing this in the mainstream. So many people are pointing the finger, choosing to deflect the attention away from themselves to be right. They're angry, prejudice, all of this stuff has come back because we have ruffled, the universe and God has ruffled everybody's insides, stirred up the gunk from the bottom of the tank. And instead of people cleansing themselves, cleaning it, to rise above the dark energies, they've attached to them. Those are the people that will have 2 to 10 more years of this. And there is no bargaining with spirit. You can't, after June, say to them, oh, well, now I decided. People have been faced with their lessons for the last year and a half. They have been faced with their own reflection of who they are, who they want to be, what they want to do, what they shouldn't do. Every one of us has had to go through this. So you can't make excuses. You just have to now take the ride with your spirit. Let your soul guide you during this ascension because it's absolutely beautiful. And the ones who really ride the wave, sit on the raft and let your spirit take you down the river are going to see a beautiful scenario. In 2022, we will reap benefits. We will start to see the sprouting of all the seeds that are being planted. Now, again, that's hopefully the majority of us that will do this work. But I need you to understand that each one of you during Ascension is the teacher who's broken. You're being faced with your fears, those deep-rooted negative emotions. That's how we become the best teachers. When you speak through your truth, when you go to your vulnerability and you speak from a very open place, people listen. You connect your spirit to someone else's spirit. When you speak from your mind and in your thought, it's surface. It doesn't go deep. But when you speak from your heart and you open up and speak your truth, people will be drawn to you. And that's what each one of us can do during this time. We don't need to be perfect. You don't have to be well trained in this. You just have to know good, bad, right, and wrong. And so use your personal experiences to go out and teach every day, to be a leader, to take accountability for your actions and help somebody else who might be at a disadvantage. This ascension was one of the biggest ones in our entirety. This in history is a very important time. We were given this opportunity because some may disagree with this, but the whole united world was going through a very weird experience. And it was going more from spiritual awareness to human consciousness. And now it's switching. We were going into selfishness. We were letting go of integrity and the honor and the respect that we had had in our history. Some may not agree with that. Some might say we were headed in a great direction. It's an overall universal energy. And the overall universal energy that runs throughout each and every one of us was at an all-time low. So something had to be done. And so sometimes negative things have to happen for good to emerge. And I am not dismissing the fact that people have lost their lives during this. I am not stating that there is anything good about that. As in September 11th, thousands of people died. There was no good with that at all. But the positive that we can take from that is it taught us compassion, the urgency of time, the fragility of life. And that is the same thing that's going on now. I speak of this often. The universe is trying very desperately for us to get it. It's given us natural disasters. It's putting things right before us to let us know that things are not settled. So, each and every day, only look in the mirror. Take control of you yourself, and show up as the greatest version. Be happy. Choose happiness. Let go of any dark energies, any ill feelings, anything that you feel like you've been carrying that does not lift your soul. There are so many people out there that are carrying heaviness. There are so many people who are teaching from a self-righteous place. We are all here for the same reason, just to experience it differently. We all have a different understanding of life. Your opinion may not serve someone else's journey here. And that's why they have to believe something different. There's a greater picture going on here. And the universe and God are our helpers. They're our cheerleaders. They want us so badly to get our lessons, to gain enlightenment, to become wise. And they're constantly helping us. When the tank runs low and we become disadvantaged, it has to step in and help us. And that's exactly what's going on in this ascension. So when you're sharing your opinion, when you're putting someone down, when you're blaming someone, when you're trying to be right, you're not any part of the solution. You are actually creating more of a problem. If you fully believe in what you believe, then lead by example. Then go out and try to make change in a positive way. And if it is correct, if it's for a universal greater good, the universe will back you on it. But if it does not, then there is a reason for it not. They know better. Some of the spirits that I speak to on occasion will oftentimes talk about the bigger picture that humans do not see. We can't see the truth of what's going on here. We only see it through what we've been trained to do as humans, through our intellect. Connect to your spirit during this time. Take the ride up. Let go. And now, see a better version of you emerge. If we all collectively join together after doing this work, we can actually bring about world peace, unity, and a change that will bring universal love to be unconditional. That's the goal here. The wake-up call was the last year and a half. So I am begging you all, take the time within the next couple of months to do that release work. If any of you really want to do it, I do it personally with people to help you to understand it, to get rid of that burden, that baggage, and to let go. You can reach out through my website, which is heavenshealingguidance.com. You can call my office, and I will be there for you. I really want to be that support system for as many people as I can. And I want to thank each and every one of you who have reached out during my little hiatus here to see if I was okay, or to send cards, and those of you sent gifts. And I mean, I am just so overwhelmed by the outpouring of concern and love from all of you. You don't understand. You are part of my growth. And I will be forever grateful for being just a small part of yours. So please take responsibility for yourself. Let yourself connect to your spirit and take the ride up. The view is so much better from the top floor. Don't stay on the lower ones, because then you have 2 to 10 more years of that. So I hope that this will encourage you a little bit to go out and to do things a little differently, to make your time purposeful, to spend each and every day being grateful, and to let go of all of the darkness. I promise you that we'll be celebrating in November. I thank you all again, and I'm back. I will be following this video up with many more. I am grateful for those who have followed and reached out to ask about the new ones. I hope that this was helpful for you, and I wish and I pray and I hope that each one of you are well. I hope that your family stays safe and healthy, and I just pray that each night you go to sleep, you're grateful, and each morning you wake up, you're blessed with a beautiful experience that's an opportunity. So thank you for listening. Take care of yourself, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.